Welcome to week 2 of the class on being prepared, being ready if there's an event where medical care isn't available, and how you would be able to treat your own family and yourself in a safe and effective manner. And then as we learn this, I think that maybe we realize, listening last week, the difference between the allopathic medical system and the what we called back then empirical medical system. The differences in which one is actually more effective and always has been. And as we learn homeopathy, in order to be prepared for an emergency situation, hopefully we will each feel more inspired to be able to treat our family members and ourselves now, when there isn't an emergency situation. Let's try this out now. Let's get comfortable with homeopathy when we don't have to rely solely on homeopathy. Although I think that as time goes on, what you're going to see is that you are comfortable with it and that you do see the results that you do not see with an allopathic medical system. One of the most important things that I think that I try to convey to my students when I teach classes is this. First of all, I've always asked this question: can you name one single medication that cures? And I've never had anyone say, oh yes, it's, oh, well, there is none. It's not designed to cure. If you do find that a patient heals, typically it's because their own immune system stepped up, or maybe there's a faith situation involved, but the allopathic medical system is not designed to heal. They are designed to get you on medications for life. They are designed to treat symptoms, to suppress symptoms. And honestly, this is one of the more important things to learn, and we will go over some today in this class as well. What is a symptom? Well, for one thing, as far as allopathy is concerned, the symptom is part of the disease, right? Or a group of symptoms is a disease. And this is really not how we feel. What we see the symptom is the body's attempts often to right itself, to balance itself. Your body is constantly working to balance, to get into balance, to stay into balance. This is called homeostasis. And so we will have things that happen, say for instance, as simple as a barometric pressure change, or it could be lack of sleep, stress, a nutrient deficiency that builds up. Maybe we get in a chemical or a group of chemicals from foods and other possibly things that are sprayed outside, and or maybe even in medications, and we'll get something that causes symptoms, causes problems and imbalance in the body, and therefore the body starts to try to right itself, and it has these things appear. Now, for instance, a really good example would be the body gets exposed to that first cool snap in the fall. Typically what happens when the cold air moves in, a lot of times it dries things out, right? We can see that. We got cooler weather, and we're drying out. Our nasal passages start to dry out and so forth. And we start to exhibit symptoms of what we call a cold. And what this really is not so much that that there is an illness called a cold, really. What it is our body had a hard time with that drier air, and so it says, hey, you know what, we're kind of getting out of balance. Let's get rid of some toxins. So maybe then we start to see a little bit of drainage, maybe out of the eyes, maybe out of the nose. And all that's doing is getting rid of some toxins, and that's okay. That's telling me that my body's working just the way it's supposed to. And so for an allopathic medication, allopathic doctor, what would they do? They'd say, oh, take an anti, whatever it is, and that word alone should tell us that we're not doing what we're supposed to for our bodies. But they would tell us to take something that stops the nasal drainage, that stops even coughing, for instance. And these are all ways that our bodies look to get rid of toxins. So we're saying, hey, I'm going to take a pill that's going to make me sicker, and it's going to undo what my body thought was a good idea on how to make it healthier. And so this is one of the things we need to really recognize, is that symptoms are often the body's attempts to right itself, to balance itself. And we need to, maybe slow down and think, okay, why do I have this symptom? what caused me to get here, and what can I do to help my body to rebalance itself, and not to suppress the symptom, but to help the body with other immune responses, and even with homeopathy, for instance, what it does is it looks at the symptom, and it will give you a nudge, if you will. If you're already, starting this kind of nasal drainage, clear nasal drainage, maybe even a little bit of a cough, a little elevated temp, what a homeopath would do is give you a medication that, in crude form, instead of in the tiny little minute doses that we get, and in a healthy person, it's a substance that can cause the same symptoms that we're looking to treat. And that's how we know what's remedy to choose. It sounds strange. It's much different than what allopathy is, but it does work. We recognize the body as having an amazing innate ability to fix itself. So when a symptom comes around, unless it's caused by overuse of medications already, if it's a healthy immune response, this symptom, we don't try to stop it. We try to maybe give it a little bit of a boost, enhance it, so that the body can then have the extra strength and then fix, restore homeostasis. So one of the most important things that we're going to learn is to look at symptoms not so much as a disease any longer or as an illness. We're going to look at each symptom that we encounter and say, is this something beneficial or not? And that's one of the things that we're going to be going over today. Joette Calabrese will be one of our speakers today. She's a well-known American homeopath. She's kind of the one that most people turn to nowadays to learn. She's got a whole series of online courses, and if you choose to go with her and want to do a course, some of her courses are a little pricey. We're going to continue to offer in the future some study groups and some homeopathic topic-based discussions and groups of courses. So hang around if you want to do it in a kind of a price conscious manner. Hang around and we'll offer some really good courses in the future. But for now, enjoy Joette. If you choose to take her courses, trust that they are excellent. And don't forget, I'll be at healingworks.com and the Facebook page. If you need anything, send me a message. If you have any trouble with the course, if you have any questions, if you're having a problem following the course, I'm happy to take the feedback. So good luck and have fun.